Let's learn about the professions in English, and learn what they do. Astronaut. An astronaut. A person who has been trained for traveling in space. Artist. An artist, a person who creates paintings or drawings as a profession or hobby. Architect. An architect, a person whose job is to design new buildings and make certain that they are built correctly. Agricultural engineer. An agricultural engineer, main role is to solve problems found in agricultural production. Baker. A baker, a person whose job is to make bread and cakes for sale, or to sell bread and cakes. Businessman. A businessman, a man who works in business, especially one who has a high position in a company. Beautician. A beautician, a person whose job is to give people beauty treatment. Caregiver. A caregiver, someone who takes care of a person who is young, old, or sick. Chef. A chef, a skilled and trained cook, who works in a hotel or restaurant, especially the most important cook. Conductor. A conductor, a railway official who travels on and is responsible for a train. Carpenter. A carpenter, a person whose job is making and repairing wooden objects and structures. Coach. A coach, someone whose job is to train and organize a sports team. Cashier. A cashier, a person whose job is to receive and pay out money in a store, bank, restaurant. Computer programmer. A computer programmer, a person who designs and writes and tests computer programs. Doctor. A doctor, a person with a medical degree whose job is to treat people who are ill or injured. Dancer. A dancer, a person who moves his or her body and feet in rhythm to music. Dentist. A dentist, a person whose job is treating people's teeth. Electrician. An electrician, a person who puts in, checks, and repairs electrical wires and electrical equipment. Engineer. An engineer, the planning and building of things not used for religious or military purposes, such as roads, bridges, and public buildings. Farmer. A farmer, a person who owns or takes care of a farm. Firefighter. A firefighter, someone whose job is to stop fires, and to save people and property from being harmed. Fisherman. A fisherman, someone who catches fish, especially as a job. Fashion designer. A fashion designer, a person who creates the ideas and concepts of new clothing styles and accessories. Gardener. A gardener, someone who works in a garden, growing and taking care of plants. Hairdresser. A hairdresser, a person who cuts people's hair and puts it into a style, usually working in a special shop. Illustrator. An illustrator, a person who draws pictures for books, magazines, newspaper, etc. Judge. A judge, a person who has the knowledge to give an opinion about something or is able to decide if someone or something is good or bad. Karate instructor. Karate instructors are responsible for teaching students the art of karate. Lifeguard. A person on a beach or at a swimming pool whose job is to make certain that the swimmers are safe and save them if they are in danger. Lawyer. A lawyer, someone whose job is to give advice to people about the law and speak for them in court. Librarian. A librarian, a person who works in a library. Magician. A magician, a person who performs tricks as entertainment, such as making things seem to appear and disappear. Musician. A musician, a person who plays a musical instrument, especially as a profession, or is musically talented. Mechanic. A mechanic, someone whose job is repairing the engines of vehicles and other machines. Nurse. A nurse, a person trained to care for the sick or infirm, especially in a hospital. Optometrist. An optometrist, someone whose job is examining people's eyes and selling glasses or contact lenses, to correct sight problems. Photographer. A photographer. A person who takes photographs, either as a job or hobby. Pilot. A pilot. A person who operates the flying controls of an aircraft. Pharmacist. A pharmacist. A person who is trained to prepare medicines and who works in a hospital or pharmacy. Postman. A postman. Someone whose job is to deliver and collect letters. Psychologist. A psychologist. Someone who studies the human mind and human emotions and behavior, and how different situations have an effect on people. Police officer. A police officer. A police officer enforces law, investigates crimes and makes arrests. Plumber. A plumber. Someone whose job is to supply, connect, and repair water pipes and devices. Queen. Queen. A woman who rules a country because she has been born into a royal family, or a woman who is married to a king. Referee. A referee. A person who is in charge of a sports game and who makes certain that the rules are followed. Reporter. A reporter. A person whose job is to discover information about news events and describe them for a newspaper or magazine or for radio or television. Singer. A singer. A person who sings, especially professionally. Sailor. A sailor. A person who operates or works on a boat or ship. Scientist. A scientist. A person who is trained in a science and whose job involves doing scientific research or solving scientific problems. Teacher. A teacher. A person who teaches in a school or college. Tailor. A tailor. Someone whose job is to make, repair, and adjust clothes. Usher. To show someone where to go or where to sit. Especially at a formal event such as a wedding or at a theater or cinema. Veterinarian. A veterinarian. A person trained in the medical treatment of animals. Welder. A welder. A person who welds, especially as a profession. Waiter. A waiter. A person whose job is to serve meals to people in a restaurant. X-ray technician. A X-ray technician. A technician who specializes in taking and processing X-rays, especially in a hospital or clinic. Yoga instructor. A yoga instructor. A yoga teacher is a fitness and wellness professional who leads group classes in yoga. Zookeeper. A zookeeper. A person who works in a zoo, taking care of the animals. Thanks for watching. See you on next video.